Frigid temperatures are chilling much of the country this morning and are expected to linger into the new year. The mercury hit -34 atop Mount Washington in New Hampshire, where boiling water froze upon contact with the air. Wind chill advisories are in effect for much of the Northeast, and forecasters are warning people to protect themselves against hypothermia and frostbite. Meanwhile, at least 12 people are dead, among them a 1-year-old. 4 others are fighting for their lives after fire breaks out inside a Bronx, New York apartment building. CBS's John Schumo has the latest.
Flames ripped through a 5-story apartment building in the Bronx around 7 p.m. last night. Based on the loss of life, it quickly became one of the most devastating fires in recent New York City history.
This is the worst fire tragedy we have seen in this city in at least a quarter century.
Fire officials say it started on the first floor and quickly spread to all 5 floors of the nearly 100-year-old building. Windows on some of the top floors were smashed and blackened. Firefighters responded within 3 minutes. They immediately extended their ladders to help residents on every floor. Witnesses say, though, even before help arrived, people inside were scrambling to climb down.
They started to get everybody out, but people were on the fire escape already trying to get down on their own. That's how fast it was moving.
Complicating the rescue effort for more than 150 firefighters who responded, the weather. The temperature at the time was in the low teens, single digits with the wind chill. Many of those who had to rush out of their homes were forced to flee without fully getting dressed.
It was like freezing point, so it was worse for people who wasn't ready and dressed appropriately with no shoes or any of that.
The Red Cross responded, handing out blankets. City buses were brought in to help keep people warm. John Schumo, CBS News, New York.
And investigators are still trying to determine what sparked the fire and how it spread so quickly in the mostly brick building. Back here in Montana, it was a deadly night on I-90 as a man loses his life in a crash just south of Billings. The 2-vehicle accident happened just after 5 o'clock on I-90 near the US 87 Metro Park exit and behind Metro RV. Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Justin Moran tells Q2 the driver of a Ford pickup was merging west onto the interstate from the on-ramp. Moran says due to icy road conditions, the pickup spun out of control right into the path of a semi-truck and trailer. The semi struck the pickup, slamming it into a guardrail and ejecting the driver, who died on scene. 2 people in the semi were not injured. Trooper Moran tells us he does not believe alcohol was a factor or that the semi driver will face any charges. The name of the man who died has not been released. And here's another visual and scary reminder to slow down on Montana highways. A car slammed into the back of a Missoula County patrol car on Interstate 90 Wednesday night. Sergeant Gordon Schmill was assisting with another accident when it happened. His vehicle was stationary on the shoulder of the interstate with emergency lights activated.
And was just getting ready to get out of his vehicle to put the flares out when he looked up and he could see that a vehicle was spinning out of control, basically coming right at him, and a microsecond to sort of brace himself, but he was struck pretty firmly from the rear of his vehicle.
Sergeant Schmill and other motorists were hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities are asking drivers to please slow down and proceed with caution when you see emergency lights illuminated. And authorities have released the name of a woman killed on icy roads east of Livingston. The Park County coroner says 75-year-old Mary Jane Liner of Livingston died in the Wednesday morning crash. Troopers say an SUV lost traction on I-90 and rolled. A man in the vehicle with Liner was injured. We're told both people were wearing seatbelts. Turning to crime news, one of the men suspected of beating and beheading a Billings man in October also now faces drug charges. 33-year-old Jeffrey Haverty, seen on the left, was arrested for a probation violation 3 days after the body of Myron Knight was discovered. During the arrest, police found a pipe used to smoke methamphetamine in Haverty's pocket. Haverty and the man on the right, Donald Cherry, are charged with deliberate homicide. Meanwhile, he's been a fixture at city events and meetings for the past 8 years. But next week, Billings Mayor Tom Hannell will hand over the gavel to newly elected Bill Cole. Hannell and his wife Robin sat down for an interview with our own Ed McIntosh.
I tend to be very engaged in the community, and so that isn't going to change much at all. But I will be honest, Ed, and this may sound a little strange, I will miss the Monday night council meetings. I enjoy them very much. I enjoy hearing, listening to the public testimony, helping be a part of decisions that are so important to our community. And I think that you become addicted. It's something that you get very accustomed to. So that's going to be an adjustment. The Monday nights not being there at those meetings, not that I can't go as a citizen, but as a mayor, that's going to be adjustment.
And for the full interview, you can visit ktvq.com. Now we go to Whitefish Mountain Resort, where Olympian slopestyle skier Maggie Voisin was welcomed back to her hometown on Thursday for the annual Ski with Maggie event. Voisin is taking a break from a rigorous training schedule leading up to the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. She says she hasn't been skiing much while at home, but spent the day with skiers and snowboarders, taking laps down Chair 2. The kids spent an hour skiing with the 18-year-old Olympian before heading to a local restaurant where she took photos and signed autographs. Voisin says that competition is important to her, but ultimately skiing with little kids on Big Mountain and remembering her childhood is even more special.
You know, as a skier, medals and all that are, to me, are very important, but at the end of the day, I also want to, to be able to inspire the next generation and just a bunch of little skiers, and it's good for me to have a day like this to really remember and see all these kids and get them excited, and it comes from my heart that it means a lot.
In Sochi 4 years ago, Voisin was set to become the youngest U.S. athlete to compete at a Winter Olympics since 1972, 2 months after turning 15. But she fractured her right fibula in practice on the day of the opening ceremony. Well, before we take a break, could ping pong help people with Parkinson's disease? Some patients say the game is alleviating their symptoms. CBS's Laura Podesta reports from Pleasantville, New York.
This group meets every week for table tennis. The players have Parkinson's disease, a progressive nervous system disorder that affects movement, causing symptoms such as tremors.
When did you know that things were changing?
That was in 2010. My right hand started to shake a little bit.
Nenad Bach is a musician and composer. He founded Ping Pong for Parkinson's after his diagnosis left him unable to perform his music. While there are no studies showing ping pong helps with Parkinson's, Nenad's neurologist, Dr. David Russell, says the rhythm and balance involved in the game could be beneficial.
He clearly got better when he really kind of delved into ping pong. And it's something we should look at the way we look very scientifically at things like Tai Chi and tango dance, that this would be an area worth exploring.
Andy Schlut has been living with Parkinson's for 14 years. He's not sure if the game is helping his symptoms, but says the camaraderie is lifting his spirits.
Everybody's very friendly, and I hope if it works for Parkinson's, it's great.
Next year, Nenad says he plans to host a national Ping Pong for Parkinson's tournament. He's also releasing a new album.
I think the best is yet to come.
And is not giving up hope for a cure.
Everything is forever.
Laura Podesta, CBS News, Pleasantville, New York.
And about 60,000 people are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease each year in the U.S.